Enough about Judas. We don't talk. This is not a wrestling show on the YouTube. This is the Comic Talk with your boy King Midas Collects. Welcome back to your weekly comic haul. We got our LCS pulls. We have some My Comic Shop stuff to show, some $1 bin diving, and then some other cool stuff that we found that you guys just might like. So without further ado, our LCS pulls for February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day 2023. We're going to start with our reprints, of course. Batman 131. If you guys are reading this, Batman is in an alternate Gotham. He got shot somewhere else, so he's quote-unquote dead. Spoilers! In his universe or wherever he's currently from, but everyone knows he's not dead. He's just displaced is the word. But it's showcasing a different Gotham where he didn't exist. Next up, we have the reprint for Scarlet Witch. There's a second printing there from number 1. Then we have Mary Jane, the Black Cat, second print number 1. A lot of second prints this week. Invincible Iron Man with that second print there. Very cool cover. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And speaking of being second prints, that Scarlet Witch and the next one coming up also have a 1 in 25 ratio variant for the second print. I really don't like that they do that, to be honest. Timeless number 1 second print, or Timeless the 2023 one shot. The Timeless books are kind of cool because it gives you like an indication of the books that are going to be like, it's almost like a sneak peek into 2023. Second print here, Nemesis Reloaded number 1. Nemesis is back and better than ever. More violence, maniacal than ever. Crazy. I still haven't read it, so I got to read it. And here's issue number 2, which also came out this week. Next up, we have Captain Marvel 46, Revenge of the Brood Part 3. Then we have a new number 1 that was in my box here for Torrent, number 1 by Mark Guggenheim. So we got to figure out what that's about, and probably not continue with it because I didn't know it was coming out. Mortal World Moon Knight issue number 1. This is a one-shot, but the Mortal World stuff has been kind of bonkers, honestly. It's just like pretty violent stuff for a Marvel book, even though it's rated T+. Next up, we have the secret variant here for Batman Beyond the White Knight with Superman there on the cover. The final issue for the White Knight series, I believe. In totality, I don't know if the Sean Murphy verse of Batman ends with this series or if they do another mini. Who knows? He could continue writing for all I care. Every single one of those series have been phenomenal. I suggest hunting down those trades. Next up, we have Nightcrawlers number 1, Sins of Sinister. I also have the EM Gist cover on order from Things from Another World, so that will be on the way. And finally, for the LCS pulls, we picked up Cinderella from the Grimm Universe, Fairy World Massacre. So a lot of these Zenescope books are definitely just cover buys. I think this is Ian McDonald there on the cover for Miss Cinderella. All right, dude, I thought this was a steal. This is a Virgin variant of a Jeff DeCall book. Jeff DeCall has been, or Deckel. I should probably look to see how, I think everyone pronounces it DeCall. Has been one of the hottest artists in the last like several years. So any cover that he has that gets put out, people just eat up. He's been phenomenal on the Catwoman cover A's, the last 8 or so issue, maybe 10 issues or so. This one he did in 2021 for The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, which was a 5-issue miniseries from Boom and was probably in the top 5 for a lot of websites, comic book review podcasters for their favorite series, miniseries of 2021. So I highly suggest checking this out. This is issue number 2. Did a B cover and then a Virgin cover. I think it's a 1 in 30 variant, and we got it for like $7, and this book online goes for like $30 to $60. So I was like, why is it listed at 7? I don't care, I'm gonna get it. They had it at an 8.0 copy, so I figured that kind of played into the price point, but the sticker on here actually says very fine. instead of like VF minus. And looking over the book, there's no known defects on the front side. Maybe there's something on the back cover or in the interiors. Otherwise, this can be pressed and brought up to that near mint minus status. That's a beautiful book. All right, so we found these in the dollar bin. I thought these were pretty cool. Non-player, this is the Third Eye variant, which is kind of cool. At the top it says Third Eye Printing. Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, great store. This is a third print of Non-Player, but Non-Player was this great little book that came out in I think 2010, 2011, and it was really, really neat for the time because it was almost like somebody jacking into a VR world, but actually like being able to feel pain and stuff. A girl kind of cut from reality. And it was really, really good, except the actual writer of the book got in like a really bad biking accident and couldn't write. Like his hand was mangled or something. So it took almost like 2 years for him to finally get around to writing the second issue. Never thought they were going to write another issue of it. And it was supposed to be a new ongoing for Image in the likes of Saga. So it was going to be this big thing. And they did a second issue. It wasn't as good. And it just kind of fell off the face of the map. But it's kind of like this unique, crazy story. You know how everyone has like a one-hit wonder with music? I think this is a one-hit wonder in comics. Probably the first of its kind, really. Next up, we have Astonishing X-Men 49. This is a second print. Just picked it up in the dollar bin just because I didn't know that there were second printings of Astonishing X-Men that late into the run. Usually when you see something like that, there's something weird going on. People were buying that book enough for them to go back to do a second print. And I know that it was leading up to the wedding issue, so maybe that had something to do with it. Next up, we have I, Vampire. Number 1, this was part of the New 52 line in 2011 when they were pushing this. Issue 1 and 2 is on the back. And bought it for $1 because it came in one poly bag. So, hey, you get it for $1, 2 issues for $1. And they're both Jenny Frison covers. So, we got some Jenny Frison on the video this week. Next up, Superman 75. We all know what this is, the death of Superman. We picked these up because there's 2 copies of it. They're third prints. I don't have third prints. I have a bunch of second prints, obviously a bunch of first prints, and I also have a lot of fourth prints. So I didn't have any of the third prints. I know the third and fourth prints. If you have the newsstand version of those are the ones that you want and command a hefty price. Spawn 333, not 334. That was the next issue, but I didn't know it was a Virgin variant, so that's kind of cool. For $1, we'll take it. Next up, this was in the dollar bins. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow #1, because people weren't paying attention that this was gonna spike. It was in the dollar bin, and I snagged it before anyone else could. Let's go. Going up to $25. This is part of James Gunn's lineup with the new DC movies that are going to be coming out. Inspiration directly from this Tom King story. I highly suggest you read this book. It is phenomenal. This is the B cardstock Gary Frank cover. And then they also had issue number 2, the cardstock, sitting in there by Lee Weeks as well. So maybe all of them will go up a little bit in price. All right, next up, we just talked about Third Eye in Annapolis. I decided to give them a visit. I haven't seen them in a while. So they had a new file cabinet of back issues. Unfortunately, Third Eye does a thing where a lot of the books are a little overpriced for the condition that they're in. I get it, they're a retail store, but it's a hard pass a lot of the time for the back issue bins. But sometimes you do find stuff for a decent price. So Elvira's House of Mystery issue number 2 for $10. I decided to pick it up because I want this entire run, and this is the only issue that I have of it. There is a Dave Stevens cover as well that we have to have. Next up, they had issue 2 of Batman Battle for the Cowl. Issue number 3 is the one that you want because it's the first time Damian Wayne puts on the Robin costume. They did not have 1 or 3, but they did have 2. Evening, Tad Lazy in the house, Genie in the house. Black Panther issue number 2 with Shuri and a good Doctor Doom cover there. Still a Campbell cover, I believe. Yep. So it's got that value for it, $5.99, good price. I think it's like a $10 to $12 issue anyway. So for $6, you're already doubling up. This is a great find. Annihilation Conquest. They had every issue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Except every issue except number 6. Of course they don't have number 6 because it would be on the wall. Number 6 is the very first appearance of the current Guardians of the Galaxy lineup. Very, very hard book to find, but these Annihilation Conquest books have a low print run too, and all these books are about near mint minus, very fine plus copies. And for $4, that's a steal because these are low print. I think that you can find them for, people are selling them online for anywhere from $9 to $15 a piece. So to get them at $4, I think they were slipping a little bit. Next up, we have a issue of Mark Spector Moon Knight, issue 46. I just didn't have this, so $6 is a little steep, but I found it there. I don't know if I'm going to run into it anywhere else, so I decided to pick it up. Speaking of low-priced good books here, good spec books, Young Avengers. Found a couple issues of this, $3.99 cover price, pretty good. So we had issue number 3, issue number 7, number 8, and number 11 to round that up. And why we picked these up, because I just know that after phase 5, the Young Avengers are going to be the big push for the MCU. These books are going to pop and you want them. I have multiple copies of the series, not of every issue. I only have one copy of issue 1. That's the big one that you want. But for everything else, I have at least 2 or 3 copies of, so I can get some runs together and looking for more copies of number 1. All right, a couple more left to go. This was pretty cool. Micronauts number 1. This is a pretty nice copy. Might have something to do with the Ant-Man movie coming out this weekend, but Marvel doesn't own the rights to the Micronauts right now. I believe it's a public domain. So they might have to name them something else. Or no, excuse me, they're not public domain. Hasbro owns the rights. So they might have to call them something else, but there's a little bit of spec there. Anyway, it's a number 1. You always want number 1s. This one still has a little bit of value, about $15 range. And next up, I think these are phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. Not the original Journey of the Mysteries, of course, but this is the second volume, 1972. There's only like 15 or so issues, but this Journey in the Mystery, the first volume, everyone knows that it turned into a Norse mythology book with Thor and Loki and Odin, and just ran with the Thor mythos. But originally, Journey in the Mystery was these weird, macabre stories. So when they rebooted it again for Volume 2, that's what it went back to, its roots. But other than issue 1, we have issues 2 through 6, I believe, here. These copies are like near mint. These are beautiful copies of these books from 1972. I couldn't believe the condition that these books were in, and we just had to scoop them up because they were just like too nice to pass up. And then we do actually have issue number 6. Check that out. So 1 through 6 of Journey in the Mystery Volume 2. I think these are pretty neat. 20 centers, Silver Age. They're just in nice condition. And we're going to finish this off with, we had a comic show here over the weekend. They do it once every year on Super Bowl Sunday. It's a big deal in this area. I kind of already went haywire and pushed all the books into different piles. So unfortunately, I can't show you what I picked up. There's some really cool stuff. But there was a lot of Red Sonja that I picked up. And we found probably the nicest copy of Savage Tales in a dollar bin that should not have been there. I have no idea if somebody accidentally put this in there, left it in there. I don't know. I found it in the dollar bin. They saw me pull it out of the dollar bin, so we snagged it. Savage Tales, issue number 1. One of the prettiest covers in the modern age, in my opinion, and it is grade worthy. So we're going to try to put this into a pre-screen and see if we can nab a 9.8 with this. I'm thinking maybe I want to do like a 9.6 pre-screen. just to maybe like give kudos to a few books, but you really want the 9.8 with a lot of the books that I'm submitting, because there's such a dip in price from the 9.8 to the 9.6. Might as well just go all the way. All the books that I have, the 25 that I'm thinking about submitting, are all pretty. Some of them are just teetering, so we're just going to see if they're just being harsh with the grading or not. It's going to be a gamble, but I'm willing to do it because I want to see how many we can get back, see if my grading skills are getting any better. So that is the most important part. Run It is in the house. Welcome to the Comic Talk. Savage Tales #1 from 2005 or 2006, I believe. So hope you guys enjoyed the small little haul that we had. I got a call from one of my connections earlier today. We were supposed to meet, but then he got caught up with something else, so took a rain check, and we're going to go ahead and meet up tomorrow. So hopefully we got some more books to show you this weekend. I will be at the flea market. I'll be taking pictures. If you haven't joined the Discord, join along in that journey there for everything in the culture that pops. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to another video here at King Midas Collects. As always, friends, bag and boredom. See you next time.